So, Alisa, this is the third session. Now, yeah, I'm listening to you, please. Tell me about what you know about the array. Alisa, can you hear me? Can you hear me, Alisa?
Yeah.
Okay, good. So I'm listening to you, please. Tell me, what do you think about, what do you know about arrays?
It's kind of like a table.
Mm-hmm. Okay, good.
Where like, there's like an index and then there's like a list of things that's like, for example, zero would be like in here, like zero would be Fred, one would be James, two will be Tom. Yeah.
Okay. So that is fine. And inside the memory, um, so do you know why we would like to use an array, but um, not actually variables? Why would we bother ourselves with creating a complex structure like that, and then we have to worry about what is stored inside and giving it numbers in this way? And why do we just don't create, maybe if we need 5 variables, or we need to store 5 names or 10 names, we just create 10 variables and that's it? What do you think? Which one? Mhm.
I think because like you can like separate like arrays like completely, like you can have it separated, and also because you, if I remember correctly, you can move things around.
So, okay, now, okay. So uh, this is, I think it is done clearly here, although they use just a different format to represent it. Yes, as you said, yes, it is a table. Here is stored the element, like you have seen on the table. Most of the programming languages, they describe it this way, but okay, they choose MVP here to put it in this way. It's fine. The thing here, if we have 100 student or 1,000 student in a school, would it be visible that I create 1,000 variable to carry the student names, or I can just
No.
store them in an array and then I'm able to loop through the array? If I have 1,000 variable to create, and then if I want to get the names of the students, I have to go through the 1,000 variable. Does this make sense?
Yeah, no.
No, right? So that's why we come up with this annoying way of storing elements. So this is elements is just content of a variable, but it is like combined number of variables that we decide how many of those when we just create the array. So if we want to create an array that can carry 10 elements, then we use something like this. So we create a variable name, and we give it a number here. This number is written 9, right? So it's slightly confusing because 9 does not tell us that there is 10 elements here. So actually, because any programming language, we start counting from 0. So the number here, you have to you add to it 1. So any numbers that he put here. So if you want to store 8 elements, okay, so it means that we will be storing something from 0 to 8, and then we will pass this 8 here. So actually, if you want to start to store 8 elements exactly, you have to put names with 7 here. Why? Because we will count from 0 to 7. And 0 to 7 is actually 8 elements. So you see here, can you count please here?
There's like 10.
10, okay, good. And so 10, but he give us here 9 like that, right? So it doesn't have, so maybe we can memorize it if we say, oh, 9 is actually the index of the last element here. So only then maybe we can make sense of that number so that we are not confused. So if the last element is stored at 9, we put here at the size of the array, when we deciding to build it, declare it, we put here 9. Does this make sense? Or still confusing?
Yeah. Now it makes sense. Other than actually this part isn't confusing, I'm a bit curious about assigning a variable to it though. The names bracket 9, do we not have to like declare it an array?
No, not as in pseudocode. We just by putting these brackets like that, you are telling VB.NET that this is an array. So no other variables except a bracket after the variable name like this. So when you open a bracket and you put 10 or 20 or 30, so you are telling this is an array. This is a way for VB to recognize that this is an array or just a normal value. Okay?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, good.
Okay.
So if we want to, again, if you can remember in pseudocode, we used a square bracket. Can you remember that?
Yeah.
Like that?
Yes.
So here we're using just a normal bracket, rounded bracket, okay? And if we want to access an element, so we just use the right line, and then we put the number of the index that we want to access. So we want to go to the table here. We check index 1, include James. So if I right line like that, then it will print to me James. Okay. If I try to get name at index 7, what could be printed out?
At index 7 it will have to be names bracket 6.
Really?
Hmm?
Really?
Is that not?
No,
If
no,
you
no.
want John, right? Or
No. I mean, here, I just want to know if I execute that line of code,
oh,
what it will be printing
then
to
it
me?
would
What name it will print for me? Looking at the table. From the table, you should
it
know.
should be like 7, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Confused. You're confused.
I guess kind of. Does that mean that when you like actually take out like name 1, it would like it would be index 1. So like I would have to, if I'm Fred, for example, it would be like names 0.
So if you want to say name 1, this one is actually the index 1.
Mm-hmm.
And name 7 is actually the index 7. Still confusing?
No, I got it.
Really?
So it's only when I'm dim, like when I'm declaring something, like when I'm declaring like names 9, it would be like from 0 to 9. But if it's like when I'm like taking it out of the array, if I already declared the array, it's if I put like names 1, the index, it will go to index 1, right?
Exactly, yes. There is no mathematical operation that you have to put in your mind when you just, yes, if you want to reach James, you have to put index 1. If you want to reach John, you have to put index 6. There is no mathematical operation that you need to worry about here. Yes, I know this is slightly confusing. I know. And even VB.NET here is slightly different from other other languages, slightly different. This is slightly confusing, so I can understand. So, but bear with me until we look at how we loop through an array, and then maybe things will be slightly clearer. So have a look here. I am assigning. Now, I would like to try to discuss with you here and these lines of code. Can you tell me why do you think that we storing names and grades in arrays like that?
There's probably like a lot of like other things in that names. Like for example, there's like 9. If we have to declare one by one, it would like be a lot more.
Okay, good. And so it doesn't make sense that I keep writing line by line to be able to access elements of this array, right? So I created a for loop that we just took just now. And I say, typically, if I see here 9, so it means that my array will be having elements from 0 to 9, which means that it is 10 elements. So 9 will be the last index I'm able to access. So what does it mean, the last index? The last value I can give to this index here that I'm using inside the for loop is 9. So I will take this 9 and put it here like that. And I'm starting from 0 because we already know any array start from 0. So, okay, this is, we know it by heart, but this 9 decides which value we put here for the for loop. If I put here 10, actually, I will have an error. So if you can see here, inside the for loop, I'm going to execute that lines 10 times. So I will ask him enter a name, and then I will put this one. I will ask you to tell me why I needed to put it this way, and I will also take an input from the user of the program, and I will store that in the array names. So index here will start the first time I run, index will be 0. Okay, so when it runs here, for the first time, enter a name, and it will concatenate 0 here. So it will write enter name 0. Enter name 0, like that. And here it means that, okay, I enter a data from the keyboard, I enter a name, I say Alisa, so he will take Alisa and go to the first element of my table, which is at index 0 here 1, 2, and so on. And he will store whatever I enter in the keyboard into names. This is names. At the index 0, because here we're starting with 0, index 0, right? So he will store whatever comes from the keyboard, he will store it here. Okay, so once it is stored, it will remain in the memory until my program finish. So I store it once, I can retrieve it many times. Does this make sense?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, okay, I will not discuss this portion yet. Let me go. So this loop, we have two loops here, this one and this one. So loop 1 and loop 2. Loop 1 is to take an input from the user, from the keyboard, and store it inside names and grades. We talked about names, we didn't talk about grade yet. Let me talk about loop 2, what loop 2 actually is doing. So loop 2 goes through all the elements that is stored in the array names, and even grade, and array grid here and try to display them on the screen. So can you see, Alisa? This is how I retrieve something from the array. I put names and I put index. Index start with 0 and end up with 9. So possible numbers or possible values here range from 0 to 9. So this is, I would like to take that code, since we already starting to enter the important portion of our class today. Let me try to come.
Hi.
Yeah, it's still loading. I'm trying to share the code here. Let me see. I put here comment, want to run. Okay. You still cannot see my screen. Quite strange. Can you now? No, cannot now. Oh, now you can.
I can see your screen now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. So, Alisa, what I did is that I trying to run the code. I try to here clean the comments maybe. So this is a for loop. I would like to do some indentation here to be able to clear things out for better understanding. So build fail. Okay, index variable unused variable index. Where, which line that you're having problem? Line 30. Okay, let me see. Okay. I cannot declare one variable 2 times here. So you see here, I have on line 32, I'm declaring index as an integer. And in line 9, I'm also declaring it as an integer. So, Alisa, can you follow up with me? Are you able to follow up?
Yeah.
So I'm not able to use the same integer, the same variable name 2 times in a code. I can only use it many times as much as I can, but I cannot use the word dim to declare the variable name 2 times. I declare it here in this code on line 7, and I also did on line 30 in the previous code. So I needed to comment one of them for the code to run. Alisa, does this make sense? You are not with me.
Sorry. Sorry. Yeah. The problem is the voice is cutting out a lot. I can't hear you properly.
Wow. That's quite bad. Okay.
Yeah. Can you repeat what you said just now?
And so quite strange also what is happening here. So what I was trying just now to say that if we have two variables, so Alisa, let me understand from you, please. Is it all the class is the voice is not so clear?
No, it's just like this one right now.
Okay. So can you remind me or stop me from talking on the chat if you cannot really hear me well, or so you can write to me on the chat so that I am aware of it. Okay. So okay, now Alisa, what the previous error is that look at line number 4, please. Do you see line number 4? Okay. What is line number 4 doing?
declaring index as a teacher.
Okay, good. And what do you see line number 28 doing?
What?
Line number 28. This line.
Line number
28. 28 here.
Is this not line number 5?
It is similar. It is similar. You see, it is same line repeated 2 times. So that is because we copied that code and run it in like last session. I mean, like maybe half an hour ago. So when we copied that and we use the index in the for loop, we needed to define a variable that's called index. So we use that. Okay. And when I copied again that code to run it, I also use index. So it comes with another definition for index. He cannot accept to use the same, to redefine the variable name or to declare the same variable name 2 times. So if you declare at the beginning of your code index, you cannot do this 2 times, only 1 time. So he complained with an error.
Okay. Oh, yeah. Okay.
Make sense?
Yeah.
Alisa, makes sense. Okay, good. So
yes.
okay, let's hope this guy run slightly faster than it should. Okay, so you see here, he's trying to ask me to enter name 0, name. I just write any names for faster demonstration. Okay. So Alisa,
Hello?
he repeated that for 9 times, for actually 10 times. You see here started at name 0.
Yeah.
So why I mean, okay, so you know which loop? We have 2 for loops, right? This one and another one here. Can you tell me this kind of lines here comes from which loop?
Hello?
Yes, hello.
Oh.
Yes, hello. Can you hear me? Can you hear me?
Yes.
Oh, okay. So I'm asking you now, these lines is come actually from which for loop? There is 2 for loops. This one, loop 1.
Yeah.
And there is another one here. We call this loop 2.
Okay.
So are you able to tell me these lines that appear here, enter name 0 and enter name 9? It is produced by which loop?
Loop 1.
Okay, and this lines is produced by the second loop, right? It makes sense like that, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. When I say enter name 0, does this make sense to tell a user of a program enter name 0? Do you think we are able to improve that a while? Because the user of a program is typically not a programmer. He just will be a normal user who doesn't know anything about programming. So if I want to tell him enter 10 names, typically the human use numbers from 1. Humans does not use 0 as a start. So if we want to count from 1 until 10, it makes sense that we change that to start from 1 instead of 0. How can we do that, in your opinion?
Just instead of an index, just make it index plus 1.
Good. But if I do that, do I need to change here also? Oh, no need.
No, because it's only affecting the display.
Smart girl. Really smart, yes. So I can trust that you will be able to have touch wood lah, good results. Okay, so yes,
mhm.
yes, you're really smart. Yeah. Okay, so okay, good. If I would like to say, instead of just printing names this way, I would like to also say name, and I would also prefer to have index like that. Let me see here.
Yeah.
Oops. Let me copy that here. So did you see what I did here?
Yeah.
Okay, so when we entered the names, we added +1 here. In this line, where I need to add +1, index +1.
Oh, for the +1 would have to be after the name and
Where exactly? Here, here, here.
the second thing that you pointed at.
This one?
No, the middle one.
Here?
Yeah.
Okay, so for faster demonstration, I would cut this one into 3. So I will not make my
Mhm.
array into 9 because it's too long. We will just want to get things done. So if I change here to 3, so how many elements I have? How many names I have in the array?
4.
Perfect answer. And what do I need to change here to be able to run instead of 9, 4 times only? This is a loop that will run into 9 times. I would like to change it.
0, 0 to 3.
Perfect, good. So we change here 3. Anything else we need to change? Do we have any other loops that we need to change from 9 to 3?
The second loop as well.
Okay, good. So
Hello?
yes, I'm waiting for it to run. I just pressed
Oh,
run.
oh. No, because I was worried that my internet logged
Okay.
out again.
Okay. So, okay. What about now?
Yeah, I can see it.
So now we, yes, I know it can be slightly confusing to you when you see name 1, 2, 3, 4, but we know that 3 here, we are adding 1 here, right?
Yep,
And it print out the same names with also incremented 1 here. So what we put here,
yeah,
you will find it coming out this way. So if I enable that here, so I'm able to actually allow the code to take another values from me. So every time he will take a name from me, he will take the grade for that name, and then um,
yeah,
he will take it here and store it in the grades array. Does this make sense to you so far?
yep, yeah. So far, so good.
Okay, so I would say that I'm able to copy that portion now here. This will make sense.
Mm-hmm.
So running for the last time. Do you still remember that you took 2D arrays in pseudocode?
Yeah.
Okay, so Elisa 1
Mm-hmm.
and enter a grade 90. Okay, Elisa 2 enter a grade 99. Elisa 3 enter a grade 87. Elisa 4 enter a grade 91. So now can you see our program? They managed to just print back everything that we entered. Does this make sense? We just added the grade. We entered the new grade here. This is the only difference. So we use this one loop since these two arrays is the same size. Even though one here contains string and another contain integer, but they are the same size. So I'm able to use one loop like that to enter the values for both the name and the grade. Does this make sense?
Yeah.
Or confusing?
No, it makes sense.
Okay. So can I stop this portion? I'm talking about array, and I try to have a look at one exam question about pseudocode. Can I do that? Or you have a question here?
Uh, no.
No, Alisa, I cannot hear you. Alisa, I cannot hear you. Yeah, hello. Hello.
Hello.
Yes, Alisa. Yeah. Okay. So,
Yeah, I got locked out again.
okay.
You were saying?
I said if you have any other questions that I can answer before I move on to checking some of the possible possible exam questions that we might have.
No, I think this is okay.
Okay. So let me see here, pseudocode. So Alisa, can you see my screen? I think you can't see my screen yet.
Yeah, I can't see it.
So, okay,
I can see
Alisa.
it now.
Yes, good. So Alisa, this is an exam question that come on May 22. And this is talking about pseudocode. This is paper 3. Huh? So they say data type library record is defined as a pseudocode. So he defined a library code, a record using this way. So he say type and end type and the library code. You can hear me, right?
Yeah.
So this library record is actually a variable name, which is fine. This kind of definition, we call this a composite data type. What is a composite data type? A composite data type is something that is a type that have a collection of simple data types inside. What is a simple data type? A simple data type is something called is consists of or can be a string, boolean, an integer. So what is a string and boolean and integer? This is called in the programming primitive data types. So this is a composite data type. String, boolean, integer is a kind of data types that's called primitive data types. Okay, primitive, we already use it and we already know how to use it. The thing that is new to us, the composite data type. This is how to define it, like this. Okay, so it consists of simple ones, string, boolean, even character, double if there is a double. So we are able to put simple data types inside like that. It's a collection of those.
Yeah.
And when they collect that simple data types together, the aim for that is to create something that is related together. So library record is for a book, and the book have a title, it have a type. What kind of book is that? it have an author, it have a number of copies. So we cannot say a library record for a book just only by using one variable. It doesn't make any sense. We need a lot of information about each book. So to be able to achieve that, we created something called composite data types. Okay, what is another example of these composite data types? We actually can use something like this. So you can see here, I created a composite data type that is called student. Because the student have a last name, first name, date of birth, year group, you can see here, year, date of birth, year group, form group. So he have a lot of information here. I cannot achieve that or store all the information about the student just only by using a string. It's not possible. So I needed to create composite data types to be able to explain about that student or describe it properly. Okay. So okay, good.
Yeah.
Then let me see here. Okay, so this is yes.
Sorry, I have a question. Is this pseudocode like an actual thing like in the like A2 papers, or am I supposed to like use this in VB.net?
And can you repeat the question again, please?
Is this topic counted as like a theory paper topic,
Yes,
or
yes,
am I supposed
yes.
to also use this in
Yes,
VB.net?
this is theory. This is paper 3.
Oh, okay, wait. I'm gonna write this in a different area then, because I have notes like I separate the theory and the practical notes.
No problem.
Okay. Let me copy this down.
Sure. So maybe next class, Alisa, maybe we will try to increase and maybe take the last half an hour to discuss this kind of topic exam questions. So it means that maybe we will try it first next time and see if it worked for both of us and you are fine with it. It means that we take 1 hour and a half as usual with the programming, and then we discuss about paper 3 topics and exam questions in another half an hour. We see if it works, we fix it like that. If it doesn't work, if it's too long, then we stick again to having only 1 hour and a half. Is it okay? We just give it a try next time and see.
Yeah, sure.
Okay, good. So, okay, to be able to declare, so you define the type like that. To be able to use it and declare it, so you actually, this is a definition of it, but to declare a library record, a variable name with a type library record, which is this one, you do it in this way. So it's a library book. It's a variable name.
Yeah.
This is a variable name of type library record. So this is, you already defined a data type. It's a composite data type.
All right.
Okay. So as usual, you see here, we always have a declaration in this way, variable name and the data type of it. Here also the same, variable name, the data type. But now this is a composite data type.